What's up? It's your girl Brina, and I'm back with another video. Did you know that there are people that identify as a Therian? No, not a thespian. Therian. Therian. A Therian is someone that internally identifies as an animal. And while I must say I was taken aback at what this was all about, I'm very excited to share with what I've learned. Come, let's learn together. Now, I must say, I looked high and low so I can figure out exactly what a Therian was. Because, let's face it, I'm quite intrigued on the whole idea of being an animal internally. I honestly thought it was all about costumes and ears and little weird noses and whiskers, but apparently Therians have a whole community and they operate way different than a furry does. So we'll look at some videos and kind of look at the difference and we can learn together, right? Because it's all about learning and getting to know this new stuff that's going on out here. Now come on, so we can go watch these videos together. Come on.
Yeah, it's not about masks, it's not about quadrobics, it's not about fame, and it's not about followers. Therianthropy is an identity. The only thing you need to be a Therian is to identify as one. You can identify as what you want without needing gear to prove that you are that. You are a valid Therian without having gear, doing quadrobics, or wearing masks.
Hey everyone, so today's video is to help clarify the difference between furries and Therians because there is a lot of conflation that happens from outside of the fandom in. So let's get started. So as we all know, furries are people that like anthropomorphic or human characteristic animal characters, whether that is talking, walking, or expressing themselves like a human. While Therians are people that self-identify as non-human animals, whether that is spiritually or mentally. It greatly varies in the Therian fandom. I'm not a Therian myself, but about 5 to 10% of the furry fandom actually identifies as either Therian or otherkin. That small percentage of the furry fandom does have a representation for the Therian fandom. But as I mentioned that, not every furry identifies as a Therian, but not every Therian identifies as a furry. Please keep that in mind.
We're Therians. If our wrist hurts, no, it doesn't. We're Therians. Of course we get broke out all the time. We're Therians. Of course we're called furries all the time. We're Therians. Of course we're always wearing our gear. We're Therians. Of course people fake in our community. We're Therians. Of course people are always staring at us. Okay. Furries. We're Therians. Of course we're always making this world.
Woo! Now that was a bit much for me, but it is quite interesting. I can't lie. I didn't even know this stuff existed. And then I stumbled upon this video of a mother who says her daughter came out as a Therian. And I thought her story was quite interesting. Let's get into it, y'all, because I'm nosy. You nosy too? Come on, let's get into it.
So last year, my daughter approached me and told me that she had something to talk to me about. A bit of context, she is 11. There's puberty going on. There's new sort of like dynamics with her and her friends. She started, talking to this little boy at school, just stuff like that. So I'm thinking that she's getting ready to approach me with something that was a bit more developmental in nature. But when we sat down and she opened up to me about what was going on, she said that, Mom, I wanted to let you know that I am a Therian. And of course, I was just like, okay, what the fuck is that? Like, what is a Therian? Because you can tell me a lot of things and I'm gonna be, okay, all right. But that literally had me scratching my head because I've never heard that before. So backtrack before this conversation, she was always asking to go to Hobby Lobby and Michael so that she could pick up masks. And I noticed that she was, drawing masks and wearing animal masks and I thought that was really great. I'm like, okay, she's, very artistic and she's getting into, some new hobbies and being real crafty and I love that. However, I did not know that she was slowly becoming a part of this group or this community of people where they actually identify as animals. She started talking to me about how in her past life she was an animal, and that it was now her mission in this life to reconnect and remember what type of animal or Therian spirit she was. I can't make this up because, I mean, you would expect that you have to come out as trans, gay, I mean, whatever, but you would, I mean, the last thing you would expect a child to come out as is as an animal, okay? It got to the point where she wanted to wear the mask out in public, like at the grocery store, at the mall. We went to Disney. She snuck her mask in the bag and tried to wear them to Disney. So I started researching what this was about. And I'm the type of parent, you know, I'm definitely not going to stifle your ability to express yourself and identify yourself as you see fit. I want you to be happy, even if that means you are howling at the fucking moon. If that makes you happy, I'm okay with that. But what I am concerned about is a young mind being susceptible to cult and cult-like groups. I looked at some of the chats and it seemed like a big connecting factor for a lot of these people were parental alienation. I saw a lot of, well, my parent doesn't understand, my parent doesn't accept me like this, and a lot of sort of, I don't want to say victimization, but you know, just kind of like that trauma bonding that you find in cults. Regardless of what my daughter chooses to wear, I'm gonna love you and accept you either way. And I told her, you know, you don't have parents that's gonna disown you for whatever reason. You know, you don't have to get your sense of belonging from that type of connecting, you know. So it's just not a healthy form of bonding, if you get what I'm saying. And they kind of thrive off of like being ostracized. And there's a difference between just being different and I feel like going out of your way to be different. And I just feel like if she's going to do something, let it be for the right reasons. So that's kind of where I am with it. I'm trying to make sure that she's exploring herself, but I'm also trying to make sure that she is mentally well and not getting lost in the sauce either. There's a lot of things out there online for these babies to get into. And if you are not actively monitoring it, your baby could be in a whole cult and you wouldn't even know it. I noticed the mask and I noticed the increased interest in wearing, you know, different animal masks, but it wasn't until I snooped around online. It wasn't until I snooped around online that I noticed that this was a lot bigger than, oh, I just want to pretend to be an animal. No, this is some pretty deep stuff, you guys. So I don't know if there are any other moms that have experienced this, but if you have, drop your comment below, or if you haven't heard of it, I mean, just be aware that this is what Therians means, that's what it is, and that is really growing in this tween Gen Z, Gen Alpha generation.
Oh, Lordy. After all of this information, Therians are quite interesting. I see why some people may have their concerns, especially when you are doing things that are, you know, considered outside of the norm. I mean, let's face it, we are humans, but others make the arguments that humans are animals. I don't know how to feel about that. How do you feel about that? After all that you've seen in this video, what do you take away? Are you afraid that somebody may come out as a Therian? Are you accepting? Is it something that you may stress over? Or do you think it's just a phase? Answer below in the comment section. Don't forget to hit the like button. If you want to see more Did You Know videos or just funny videos in general, be sure to hit the subscribe button and don't forget to comment. I mean, I won't know you're here if you don't say something. So say something. Till next time.